All right, well, welcome, ladies and gents, to our final clarity night of 2023, burning questions. So this one is all about you guys. Instead of setting a topic, we have let you guys set the tone with what you want to ask. And so far, we actually only got one question in advance. But I heard you guys talking while I was like scrambling around getting ready. You can absolutely ask your questions on this call. And I'd love to take advantage of the fact that we are a slightly more intimate group and fucking ask anything. Like, what can we create together with these questions for each other? Hope's got her hand up, but I'm just going to address Sig's question that he emailed in first, because it's the kind of thing where that sets the tone for what I would like for this. Whereas what can we contribute to each other to creating something? So Sig's question, I'm just going to pull it up here. He says, here's what I'd like to ask. On a call a few weeks ago, you mentioned that you were asking for an extra $500,000 to show up within the next 6 months. I was inspired by this, and so I created a list of all the things that I would like to create and experience in the next 6 months and looked at how much exactly it would cost me. Let's revisit that in a minute. And so I asked for that amount of money to show up. So what now? What questions and actions can I ask and choose on a daily basis to actualize this? Awesome question. I want to just address something though, that you know how we look at the energy of the words that we use in our life and what shows up in our life. We have to be really present for what we're saying, because it does have a much bigger impact than we realize. And one of the things that you said, Sig, is what's this going to cost me?
Yeah, Chris.
What if, so like, do you get what the implications of that are? Like, there's an assumption there or a conclusion that for you to have anything in your life and for anything to show up for you, there is a cost there, and there
Ye-
is almost like an obligation of what you're going to have to do or give out in exchange for those things to occur.
Yeah.
So first of all the conclusions that you've come to, all the presumptive realities of what it's going to cost you to have what you'd really like to
Okay.
have, can we destroy and create it all?
Yes. Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. What if having everything you desired cost you nothing?
Okay.
Everything that is times a godzillion. Can we destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. I'll be 100% transparent with you guys. This year, the latter like 2-3 months of this year financially have been like interesting. It's been the first time in a long time where I've gone, okay, where'd all the money go? Like, what's going on in the world right now? I know that it's not a problem, and I know that I can create like that. There's no lack or abundance in my world around it, and it's the first time where I've had to be like, huh, okay, let's get creative here. Let's hustle a bit. So this morning, I was sitting at breakfast on my way to work, and I was like, okay, what are the things that I have coming up as expenses and bills and things I'd like to create? And I love to set for myself a little total, like go, okay, this month to cover the things that I'm investing in, etc., I require $50,000. I did that this morning. And I was like, okay, so of that $50,000, 10,000 of that I really would like to happen pretty fucking quick to get to the things that I'd like to. I asked for that. And then, as you said in your question, I pretty well left it and went to work and started creating and started doing things, started rearranging the shop, started doing all the things that I had to do in my day. By the end of the day, we hadn't really sold very much. And some of the money that I was asking for the day, it was like, that didn't really occur. And then out of the blue, this person walks in and spent almost exactly what I'd asked for in the morning. almost exactly. Now, the difficulty I've seen for people in the past, like they'll come along to Access and they'll go, ask and you shall receive. So I want $1 million. And then a week would pass and $1 million wouldn't show up. And they'd go, see, Access doesn't work. This isn't as easy as you make it sound. And it's like, hang on a minute. You actually have to not only ask, but also choose and be it. And when I say be it, it says in the foundation manual, the 4 aspects of an infinite being are perceiving, knowing, receiving, and being. And all of those 4 things also have a lower harmonic, which is sex and no sex for receiving, thoughts, feelings, and emotions, all of those different things. And the one for being is doing. Now, the trouble that I see a lot of people get into is they make doing wrong because it's the lower harmonic. But if something is a lower harmonic, it's actually included in being. Being includes doing and all of these other things. Like, let's say, classic one for someone in Access, they want to go to a 6-day event and they have to pay for the event and they have to pay for their flight and they need some money for boozing up women that they want to sleep with and all of these things, right? I'm giving real world examples for you guys, okay? They go, I registered. Now where's the money? I've chosen it. But that's one choice. The next choice is, there's all these little choices around it that you can make that make the energy of it more viable. Like booking your shuttle from the airport, like actually booking your accommodation, like getting a quote for what the airplane ticket's going to cost. All of those things are part of doing. And when you do from the space of being, it's effortless and bolsters or reinforces your choice. Does this make sense? So like for you, with your question, you add up this sum of what you'd like to create and what you're asking for. Now, what can you choose daily that will bolster and reinforce your ask? Not from linearity though, not from like, I need $50,000, so I need 50 customers that'll spend $1,000 with me. That's like so boring basic math. Yep. It's so much more creative when you just get out there, get busy and create and allow it to show up as and when it shows up.
Okay. So it's so it's just following those daily like those daily I want to say pings, like, okay, speak to this person, and it's not like a linear thing, because I was going, okay, do I need to get another job, do I, and then yeah.
Well, explore all of it.
Yeah.
As I said, on my way here, there was a crime on the streets and I was stuck in my car listening to the radio for an hour when usually it's 10 minutes. And what's the favorite topic right now on the radio and in the media? The cost of living crisis. I don't know if it's the same in the UK or in America or wherever, but here they're always talking about, do you know what a carton of milk costs now? Oh my God. Milk used to be $2.50. Now it's $7. You go to the local pub and a pint of ginger beer used to be $5. Now it's $19 and the rents are rising and everything is unbelievable and everyone's losing their home. They make it sound like the world is absolutely over. And it's so easy to buy into that. Don't. Keep asking and keep getting creative.
Okay. Yeah.
The money for what you're asking for is the shit that falls out at the end of your creations. It just does. I love taking jobs that have sales quotas. Like your job is to sell $50,000 this month. And if you get over, you get a bonus, blah, 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 blah. I love that because I know that I can hit those targets, never from focusing on the target, but just from creating. So when you're talking, like the reason why I brought up the cost of living thing is you're talking about getting a second job. And there were so many people I was listening to on the radio talking about that, talking about I've needed to get a side hustle to pay for the mortgage that I committed to last year when things were so much better. It is so linear. It is such that traps you into the point of view that work, basically time plus effort, will create money.
Right.
And it's not true. So everywhere you've bought that time plus effort will create money, can we destroy and uncreate all that, please?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Those energetic pings that you're speaking of, Sig, where you're like, talk to that person. That is your go-to to create what you're asking for.
Okay.
Because all of it is available and all of it is possible. We just have got to trust in ourselves. Recognize that we ourselves are part of the universe and trust that whatever we create will occur. Like I was speaking to my dear, dear friend, Gary Douglas, this morning when I was talking to him about money, and I was going, okay, fuck, I need to create X, Y, and Z so that I can do X, Y, and Z. And he went, I'll handle it. I'll send you the money. And I went, no, motherfucker, I don't need you to send me the money. You know me. You know I always create this. I always make everything work. Please do not think I'm asking you for money. I'm talking to you as a friend because I know your energetic contribution will make everything go. And we all are the same. All of us have this magical capacity to create exactly what's required and exactly what we're asking for, exactly when we want it. And if it doesn't happen, it's because we didn't actually choose it.
Mm-hmm.
So with your list that you've made, Sig, I would ask yourself too, am I asking for this from the space of possibility and know that I can actually choose it and create it? Or am I trying to prove something else?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we set a list for ourselves of what we want to create to prove that we don't want it, to prove that we can't actually do it, or a myriad of other different reasons. And I'm not saying that's necessarily true for you.
Yeah.
But are you actually committed to what you're asking for and out there following all the pings to create it?
I actually get a no.
Cool. Well, that can change instantaneously.
Yeah. Maybe I'm committed to like half of half of the list, and maybe I have the point of view that this is just I just don't think I can actually create this in the next 6 months.
Right.
And to be honest, it's not even that much what I'm asking for. Like it's nowhere near like $500,000 dollars. But yeah, I guess if I'm being on, like I do have the point of view that maybe this is just like I'd need some kind of crazy miracle or something like that.
Right. This is what I mean. Sometimes you set an ask for yourself that you don't think you can achieve so that you can prove the presumptive reality about your capacity to create.
Yeah.
So everything you're trying to prove about your capacity to create with the asks that you've decided are ridiculous, far-fetched, and outlandish, can we destroy and uncreate all that, please? Right and
Yes.
wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. You can create anything if you choose it. Like, I adore my friend Wesley here and Kelly, who work with me in my Access business. And we were looking at some of the classes and calls coming up. And Wesley said to me, he said, you know, can I just ask you, do you actually want to be doing this? Because if you're not excited about it, if you're not enthusiastic about it, it won't happen. Because there's not enough of you and your energy in it to actually make it come alive. And I'm like, yeah, good point. I'm not actually that interested. I was interested 6-8 weeks ago when we came up with it as an idea. Now I'm like,
Yeah. Okay.
So look at that list of things that you're asking for, Sig, and ask, of these, which am I truly enthusiastic about creating? And
wow. Okay.
And what am I just asking for because A, I think I'm supposed to want this, or I want to prove that I can't do it?
Okay. Wow. Yeah. That's really light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Also, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for I was on the last month's call, and the facilitation that I had from that was just yeah, I took some actions based on the awarenesses that I got, and I'm just really grateful for that. So thank you.
So give us some follow-up then. What happened with those two people at your work?
Yeah, so I just addressed I basically, oh my gosh. I think that on the same day, I just there was like one of the senior managers, and as soon as I walked in, I just walked straight up to him and I said, "Hey dude, you know, I'm just like something along the lines of like the way you guys have been acting just makes me feel like you don't want me to work here. Is that the case?" And then he was just like, what? Like, no, what? Like, and then he basically at the end of my shift, he said, "Hey, can I talk to you for like 20 minutes?" Like, so he had this conversation, and he was just like, "No, we're really happy to have you. You're always so enthusiastic to be here, and you know, and you're always just very like, yeah, just like very happy and stuff." And I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, it was really, but the thing is, I've been doing that with in like a lot of like areas. I think it's like such a superpower. What I'm discovering.
But
So
I want to point out something else too, then. Like, your energy now is so different. Like, who you are, there's so much more clarity to it, and a lot less like easygoing, go with flow, everything's fine. Sure, I'll put up with whatever you give me.
yeah.
There's
No.
a lot more of you available since that last call. So it's actually so cool for you to tell us about that.
Yeah. And it's also in not just like a work area, also in different areas. I've been choosing that a lot more, and it's not comfortable, I don't think, but I'm kind of maybe I'm growing into it, and just is it a muscle, I guess, that you just keep choosing?
Yeah, it is a muscle that you just keep choosing. But the fact that you started it and you actually made that first like, woof, I'm going to tear off the band-aid and go for it,
Yeah.
and actually saw a result. Like, the change that is occurring is it, that first choice was already the start of this unraveling. And this is the embodiment of what I'm talking about with doing, including being. Like, you can just do and go through the motions and give lip service to things, but there's nothing behind it. There's no actual energy there. Like when you say, yeah, I'm going to create $1 million this year, but there's none of you in it, and you're not actually committed to your choice. And no, you're not actually going to. But when you make a choice like you did from a space of being, there's all of you in it, and you're committed to it, and you took action, but with the energy of presence of you. And that's when it resonates out into the world and creates change. for you and everybody else, because that choice not only impacted you and your future and changed how you will interact going forward, but you actually changed your boss.
Yeah.
You put him into question where he has to go, oh, fuck, hang on. I actually really dig Sig and he's a good employee and I don't want to lose him. So what do I got to do different here? And all day, that motherfucker went there going, okay, shit. What did I do? And he also knows now he can't treat you the way he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not only that, but you invited him to a different level of consciousness, because now he has to go, hold up, what am I choosing here? And I'm apparently not coming across the way I think I am. So let's be a little more present and conscious about how we act.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Bravo.
Thank you so much, Chris.
You're so welcome. Thank you. I'm chuffed. All right. So Hope has her hand up, waiting patiently in the middle of the fucking night in California.
Hi, Chris. I have two questions, actually. One came from this conversation with Sig. The thing about how humanoids, how we don't create for the money, can you expand on that a little bit? So, because I'm in a similar space right now. I work in commercial production. It was a crazy year, and I was like, if I didn't have the access tools, I would absolutely just blame it on, a million things, but I know it's like something I'm choosing. So I was looking at different ways to create money, and I chose something that like was not fun for me, but the moment I got handed the cash at the end of it, I was like I was so excited about like that cash in hand. And so I was wondering if there's maybe somewhere that I've like taken that tool and bastardized it or something, because I was like, yeah, can you just speak more to that?
Well, there's so much that can be said about that. I mean, yeah. Well, I want to relate it first a little bit to the conversation that we just had, because that is a great example. Like, so often we'll make a list of what we want to create, right? Like we'll be like I did in that last call that we had, that last clarity call. I said, I'm asking for $500,000 to show up in the next 6 months. And it was, I didn't give you guys the list of what I was asking to create the money for, but it was things like to pay for my investment in Elugar and to cover all of the debt that I got from my divorce. Like I took on all this debt of my husband's so that he would go away, essentially. Because I was like, I don't really care. I can fucking make money. And I kept all the money earning assets. He just wanted the cash. I gave him the cash because to me, who cares about cash? There's the humanoid point of view. Who cares about cash? There's always more of it. I can create more. Right? So that was my list. It was all things that I would like to create because of the energy that they contribute. And for you, with the job that you did for the money and the joy that you got from the money, was the joy actually the money, or was the joy knowing what the money would facilitate?
Yeah, the moment you started talking, I was like, oh, I like just prior to going to Rome for Maestro, I had hit this like space with money again, from like doing a bunch of jobs. And and the moment that I got handed that cash, I was like, I've started to like, it was like this like space or an ease, or just, I don't know if it was even just like the space of being able, after having gone for a number of months where, I was like at the edge of everything every month financially, to like having a different space. So what I get, it was actually something about like that energy, and the ask for that different energy with money showing up again. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? And there's probably like so many nuances to that, but it was like the excitement for like whatever that is.
So what is that? Because that excitement that you're talking about is what this is all about. And it's that excitement is what's going to motivate you to create more. Like I buy a lot of things at auction, usually not to keep. I usually buy things at auction to sell. And there's this like ongoing cycle of like creating the money to buy the thing, to sell the thing, to create more money, to buy more things, to sell more things. It's like this constant like flow of money coming in to buy the stuff. And each of the items that I buy is so exciting to me because it's this beautiful piece of art or jewelry or watch or whatever that I see as a gift to the world in the beauty that it is. And I have this like desire to create the money, to have that beauty, to then allow it to enrich somebody else's life. And this huge like flow and cycle of that creates the enthusiasm for me to actually create money. Someone said to me once, they were like, but why bother? You never keep any of it. And you're just making money to buy more stuff, to sell more stuff, to buy more stuff, to sell more stuff. Like, who cares in the end if that's all it's for? And I was like, but what do you mean that's all it's for? To me, that is like, there's so much joy in that. Like making people's lives greater, whether it's through facilitation or inviting them to live with more beauty, is so what I'm here for.
That's really cool.
So
yeah, well,
with your lists of what it is that you want to create in your life, that list will show you so much of what you actually give a shit about, what you're actually here for. Like I said, for me, I want to invite people to live more beautiful lives, however that is for them. My idea of beauty and yours might be 100% different, but I'm here for that, for people to have more peace and ease with who they are and have a really good time. Once we're dead, we're in the coffin a really long time. So we might as well have some fucking fun now. And live like it's a party. Drink what you want, eat what you want, fuck who you want, buy what you want, have a good time. And do it from kindness to you and everybody else. And when you look at that list of those things and it starts to show you what you actually value, those choices, the things that you value, that's going to show you the asks that you are the most enthusiastic about creating. Like I say, I had like, wasn't even a meeting today, but I was talking to Kelly and Wesley just via text in a chat group about classes coming up. And there were some classes that were like, meh, because I didn't care. And they were like, well, which ones, what do you want to do? What are the classes that you're interested in creating? And I was like, the sex class that's coming up. That's the one that I'm the most enthusiastic about and really want to run with, because I have such a different point of view about sex. And my point of view is we should all be having great sex. I had sex with this guy yesterday that was like swimming through a pool of silk scarves. It was the kindest, most gentle experience I've ever had in my life. And the guy was bisexual. And I know that he's had sex with a lot of women because the way he touched my body was so different. Some guys who've only had sex with guys can be a little bit rough. They're not used to touching women. And this guy was so different. And the reason why I tell you this story is I recognize how different I am with sex because every sexual experience that I have is like an educational experience for me. It heightens my awareness and shows me something different. And that's a possibility with sex that I would like everybody to have. Rather than rushing to a relationship afterwards, what if we just went, fuck, that was awesome. I learned so much. Bye. Who else? Who next?
Chris, that brings me to my second question.
Oh, what's your Second question. Who did you rush to relationship with? I'm getting hot. I got to take my coat off.
Um, I so yeah, so there was this guy that it was so cool how everything showed up like in the beginning, where it was like someone I had played with like a couple years ago, and there was something very interesting showing up like that I was not enjoying in sex, and I was like asking my body who she wanted to play with, and he popped into my head, and we started playing, and then it's so funny because every step of the way, like he started to use the word partner, and I remember being like, that's not what this is. But then I was like, well, maybe it could be what this is. And then there was like, he said something about like surviving the holidays. And I was like, no, 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 no. Like, we're just going to see what happens. And I was like, well, that's so sweet. And then at a couple nights ago, he was like, this is getting really relationshipy, and I just want to have a check-in because that's like not what, and I was like, fuck, that was never what I wanted either. But every step of the way that this other thing showed up, I like was like I kept diving in further and further.
Okay, cool. And first of all, he says he doesn't want a relationship. Is it true?
I don't think this is my thing, Chris.
Hand on my heart, I will confess to you all, I have been that guy who was like, yeah, I just want sex. And it was a total fucking lie. I was trying so hard to create a relationship. So you got to look at this with this dude. Truth. Does he actually want to create a relationship?
I think he does, and I don't know if it terrifies him or what, but yeah, I get, because we were having sex at one point and I had all these like deep feelings in my head, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is so heavy. And I was like, wait, it's not mine. It's all his.
Hey, we've all been there having sex with somebody when we start thinking about things. What if that wasn't you checking out and starting to think, but them?
Oh my God. I check out so much during sex, and I've never asked if the checkout itself is not mine. That's really fucking cool, Chris. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Well, it's a bigger conversation, but one about presence in general. And we as humanoids quite often judge ourselves for checking out or not being totally there and present. But the truth of the matter is, you're always present with something. It just might not be what's right in front of you. And if you're not present with your body during sex, what the fuck are you doing it for?
Yeah.
So instead of making yourself wrong for checking out, I always would ask myself, so what am I present with if I'm not present for this? Because you're somewhere, you're just not there. Like the example I can give you is, have you ever had someone walk into the room while you're sleeping and say your name gently? Oh, and you wake up? Yeah, because you're not actually gone. You're still present there, and you're still present somewhere. You just need to be drawn back to where you are. But the minute in sex you start doing that, you got to get, it's so often not yours. And it's usually the person going to, we're fucking, so what does this mean? What if fucking could be meaningless? And it still was a great joy and source of possibility.
Yeah.
Everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion. Can we all destroy and create that, please?
Yes.
Wrong. Good.
Yes.
All 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Meaningless fucking.
It can be fucking meaningless. I'm so grateful, and this is to this conversation about creation. It's so cool because when this happened, I was like, I need to have a fucking conversation with Chris about this. And I reached out to about like how much your sessions were, and I was like, well, I haven't gotten paid yet, and I was like, I wonder what his next clarity call is. And then this email came into my inbox today, and I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, and you get this for $50 Australian, which is like what, $30 US?
It was 35. Yeah, how's it get better?
Well, but that's the thing. Like, I do these calls in these classes because I love doing it. I don't really give a shit about what it costs.
That's amazing. So So a question with this, because that like when we had this check-in conversation, I had all of these like huge reactions in my body. Like we were like I like lost my appetite. I like started to like shiver, like I got really cold. And it was so interesting because I was very grateful because for the first time I was able to be like, okay, this is like these are happening, but have like a different separation. I wasn't in it to the degree that I normally would be. And so that was part of where I was like, do I really want a relationship? Have I been lying to myself this whole time? Like, what the fuck? What is this? And then I was mad at myself too, I think, because there was a space of like not really having my own back every step of the way that these things showed up that I was aware wasn't really what I wanted. And I was like,
Okay. Can I stop you?
yes, please.
Everything that you described around like the physical sensations, those are all trauma responses. So what's that? Well, first of all, was any of it yours?
I want to say no because this is an access call, but, but I also really want to say it.
I'm
Yeah.
not
So
I'm not a very good access facilitator because I don't seek
love,
access and I don't do any of that shit. So just give it to me straight. Like
yeah. So
truth,
it,
is it yours or his? Or do you want it to be yours? Oh.
it's been with me since I've been really young.
Mhm.
Like that like style of response is something that has shown up less in the last few years, but
Huh.
it was a frequent response.
It's been with you since you were really young. That, yeah, okay.
At least like 16, maybe younger actually, 11.
Yep. What happened when you were 11?
God, I want to say younger than that actually, because what so when I the memory that popped when I was 11 was when money got stolen at my aunt's house and it got blamed on me. They like set a trap to try and figure out who it was, and I was the one person who went upstairs and I didn't steal the money, but it was like it got blamed on me. And even to this day, like there's something in the back of my head that is like, did I black out and steal the money? And I just don't know. Like it's like such an insanity that got so deep in.
Oh my God. So wait, you were accused of doing something wrong and you tried to convince yourself that maybe you were actually wrong.
This it and which actually kind of matches what I did with this guy. But yeah, like to this day, there's a part of me that still like even as I'm telling the story, I'm like, Chris is gonna tell me that I did actually steal the money. This is where this is gonna go. Like it's so insidious and insane. It's so insane, Chris.
Okay, so doubt. Sometimes we doubt ourselves and we tell ourselves that that doubt is a question because it's like, well, maybe I did. And if it's a maybe I did, well, that has a question mark at the end. So really I'm in question by doubting myself. But all you're actually doing with that doubt is undermining your awareness. And undermining your awareness, the end result always is that you are wrong. So could that trauma response be the wrongness that you experienced since you were a kid? Like this whole head fuck of, well, he wants a relationship. Do I want a relationship? And am I creating this? Like I'm creating this. So I must actually maybe possibly want a relationship somewhere, but I'm telling myself that I don't. And maybe I'm lying to myself. Am I actually lying to myself? I must be lying to myself. I must be wrong somewhere. Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and uncreate all that.
Yeah. Yes.
Right,
Yes.
good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds.
So the other thing too that's popping up around this. So when I was a kid, I guess I might have also been around 11 because this was like in I don't know, something in second grade and something in fourth grade. So I started like going to school like late in fourth grade because I would wake up with these stomach aches in the morning and I couldn't really like say like I had like but it was a similar thing where it was like this just such an interesting like physical response to something.
Right.
I would
But
call it guilt,
oh,
but yeah,
was it a physical response to something or something else?
something else.
Yeah. So what was it? Was this you healing somebody, or it was an awareness of something, or what?
An awareness of something.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So what or who were you aware of?
Sorry, I have so many conclusions about what this is. It's pod talking ever, from all the years that I've looked back at this.
Yeah.
Um,
And everywhere that you're looking for the answer to what it is so that you can have a reason and justification for everything that you've decided doesn't work in your life. Can we destroy and uncreate all that?
yes, yes.
Good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Keep talking. I need prettier life.
I love that. You want to know what's really funny? So when you just cleared that, but at the time my mom was like dropping me off at somebody's house in the morning, and I don't think that person actually wanted me there. Like my mom had like
Yeah.
figured out this way to like pay a parent at my school to like offload me in the mornings ultimately.
So
And
how
like her
many of your relationships have you created based on that? They don't actually want you.
so crazy.
Okay, cool. So all the big five that you have built around that presumptive reality that nobody wants you here. Can we destroy and uncreate all that, please?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds.
Wow. Wow. That is so cool. Can I,
Look, and you're going to
yeah.
need to unravel this for a while because, like,
Yeah.
me, I built this whole reality and a really strange reality around relationships, not around sex, but around relationships, based on my personal big five that I bought since I was a kid as well, which was all about needing people and being needy and having thought that through my whole life that I was a really needy, insecure person. But it was all stuff that I bought when I was a kid, trying to heal that same need from others. It's like, how much did your mother have the point of view that you wouldn't be wanted? So she projected that on you and created that whole fucking situation with the other kid's family.
Wow.
So this
Yeah.
your whole life, you've created a reality around relationships based on a lie that was projected at you and was never actually yours. Here's the thing, folks. If you actually have a look at what your personal big five is for you, there is so much freedom available to you. And nothing that you bought as yours ever was. Whatever you've decided your big issue is that you are constantly struggling with, it is all a lie. It is all something you bought from usually your parents, because most often than not, our big five is about coming in to fix and heal our parents. And that particular energy that you decided was your job to fix and heal, and you've decided is your issue, it isn't. I promise you it isn't.
So crazy. Well, so the other thing too, when I like generated a ton of money, like in 2021 and 2022, I noticed this thing of like paying to be somewhere, or like that and how much was that another part of this? Like if my mom could just pay them, they'd want me to be there. So
Yeah.
there's like so much that's exploding in my world right now. That's amazing.
So,
Uh,
and if that's the case and no one ever actually wants you to be there, just get hookers. Just pay to have sex with people because you know they're just there for the money then, and that proves that you're right. They don't like you. They're paid to be there. They have to. No, look, this happens more often than you realize, not just with prostitutes. I watched last night on Netflix this documentary about the richest woman in the world. She's the heir to the L'Oreal cosmetics fortune, this French woman. And the number of people lined up to take advantage of this bitch because of how much money she had. She had something like 30 or 300 billion dollars. She was rich.
Wow.
And had all these people. What, sorry, was that?
Oh, you said wow.
I thought someone said something. She did not know in her life any real intimacy or actual affection from anybody. Everything that was delivered to her was what they could get from her.
Wow.
Yeah. But what that documentary showed me was her choice in all of it. All of it was based on her point of view that her only value was her money. She never, ever entertained the possibility that someone could like her for who she was. So she allowed herself constantly to be taken advantage of.
Is there something we can look at with facilitating ourselves around the big five? This could be a PR, but what we just got to, I'm like, I don't know that I've been asking so many questions about this. I don't know that I ever would have gotten there. So is there something? Yeah.
I heard Gary talk on a call. He said if people actually would look at what the big five is for them personally, there would be so much freedom available. And I was like, all right, fucker, I'm going to do this. It was a time, like the last 3-4 months of my life have been really hard. Like there have been some moments where, I didn't know if I was going to make it. It was hard. And I sat with it and dug through it and dealt with some really uncomfortable shit. And I'm so glad I did, because I am the most free, the most happy, and the lightest I've ever been. But what I did was I said, okay, what is this for me? What is my big five? Not to define me, not to like come to the root of all evil, but figure out whatever it was, because I was looking at situations, particularly in relationship, where it was like the Hydra from Greek myth. You know, the Hydra was this monster where if you cut off the head, another one popped up and you never really got rid of the monster. You know, like most people's dating history, you date somebody, things go sour, you get rid of them and you find someone new. And for the first like 6 weeks to 6 months, that's awesome. And then, oh, fuck, we're in the same situation again. Same dude, different face, different dick. But ostensibly the same. So ask, for all of you guys, get real vulnerable and ask, what is this for me? What is my big five? And everything that doesn't allow me to perceive, know, be, and receive, what that is for me with total allowance. Let's destroy and uncreate it all.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds.
Thank you so much, Chris. Yeah. Holy shit. That's cool. The one other memory that popped with all this was when my parents started taking the whole family to family therapy, because they, like, when I was very young, were like already at odds and continued to like stay married until I was 25. And so I'm like, wow, like what's in that too? So this is such a different like page of this book that I've been looking at for years. So I'm so grateful. Thank you.
You are so welcome, Hope. And next we have Simon Fuchs. Fuchsy.
How you going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. This call's like kicking my ass.
Good.
I said you're like the Mike Tyson of consciousness. You knock me out every fucking time. I love it. So I'll ask this question, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on it. So with like, I'm noticing that there's quite a few aspects in my life where I'm like, when I'm creating, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go for it. One of those things where I feel like I can't create as much as what I'd like is in the areas of sex, and where I'm finding it lacking, or how do I put this? Like, I get bored super easily. Like I had amazing sex with someone the other night, and I was bored straight afterwards.
So what do you mean? You had sex and then you were done. So what?
Yeah. Okay. So it's just, well, the thing is I'm finding that I get bored with the person too. So I'm like,
Well, most people are boring.
okay, cool.
And you might want to look at, for you, Simon, you're just there for the sex. You don't actually want the people in your life.
Okay. Can you say more about that?
Well, you're not interested in a relationship. You just want to fuck.
Yeah.
You should have been gay.
I know. Trust me. Every week I'm like, huh, maybe I should. It's
Gay
the thing.
guys just fuck, and they don't even need to know each other's names.
Yeah, I know. I'm like so jealous of that as reality. I remember hanging out with Merline, and he's like, just like, I'm gonna go for like 45 minutes and come back, and then he's just like, fuck some dude, and I was like, that's fucking an amazing reality to have. So that's the thing, is like, I'm like, how do I actually create that as my reality?
Well, recognize that you already have a level of ease and freedom with sex that is different than a lot of people,
Yeah.
and ask for it. Ask for it to find you.
Okay.
Ask for sexual partners that give you more of you and your reality.
Cool.
And ask for sexual partners that you can learn from and can facilitate something greater for you.
Okay. Cool. Because that's what you said before, is that you learn from them. And I was like, how have you learned from them, or can you say more about that?
Absolutely. Every time I have sex with somebody, I learn something. Like there was one dude who messaged me on an app, like, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago. And he said, I'm straight and I've never had sex with a man before, and I really want to try it. I was like, well, okay. I got yes, let's do it. So we had sex, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun, and there was like really easy connection and flow, and the experience itself was wonderful. As soon as he orgasmed, he started crying and he started saying, oh my God, this was so wrong. What I've done is wrong. I'm so dirty. This was so bad. I shouldn't have done this. And so what I learned from that was, he was willing to be present with his body while we were having sex, and he was there, and he was free of judgment. But as soon as he had the orgasm, he started judging himself and started making himself wrong. And I was aware the instant he went from space and peace and freedom to judgment. And that taught me so much, because I've been with other partners where you start and you're having fun, and then it turns to judgment, and there's this like instantaneous switch to something different. And that facilitated so much for me, just to recognize A, how different I am, and B, how to see that faster in the future and either make a different choice or know how to create a greater possibility with that.
For them?
For the world.
For the world. Yeah, okay.
Sex is not just about the two people having it. The choice to create joy changes people's lives, and that changes the world.
That's such a good motivation. That's the tagline for the sex class. Yeah. Cool. I don't have anything else. Do you want to? If you want to say any more, I'm loving
No,
it.
just with everything you choose with sex and everyone that you choose to have sex with, ask yourself each time, what am I doing this for? Is it for them or for you or both? For me, if it's not for both, I usually don't bother. Because if I'm just doing it for me and they're not included or they're not getting anything out of it, I know I won't have a very good time. And if I'm doing it for them, I know they're not, it's actually an unkindness to them as well if I'm just going through the motions because they want it, but I don't, so I don't bother them either. But if there's a mutual interest in having something that's going to create greater, that's when I go for it.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to need to listen to this again. So, yeah, my next question is kind of like, how often does that show up? I'm noticing that I function from lack in a lot of shit in my life where I'm like, oh, that's just lack.
Yeah, exactly. So you can have that kind of sex more often than you realize. But you have to give up the point of view that not that many people are willing to go there.
Yeah. That's where I realized the other day, I was like, motherfucker, I've got this point there. I've got this point of view there that's actually limiting what I can actually create. And I think that's also why I was getting bored too, because I was like, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. The universe is a kind, generous, and abundant place. And if you're clear with what you would like to have, it will deliver.
Cool. I'm having that. Thank you. It's been so fucking cool, like what's been showing up, and like I just had the most fun sex the other night. I just have to tell people. It's just really, it was really good.
Hey, but how awesome is that? I had the most fun sex yesterday too. And what if we created a world where it was okay to say that and it didn't have to be like a secret that you had to be like, oh, I'm not supposed to talk about this.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like if you had a great sandwich yesterday and you told everyone, they'd be like, cool, I'm glad you had a good sandwich.
Yeah.
But if you have awesome sex, you're like, it's like weird if you mention it.
Yeah. It was funny because
why isn't sex something more to talk about than a fucking sandwich?
Yeah, I was talking to a friend about, I was like, oh wow, this person was a lot of fun. I was like, I'll give you their number. You should get in touch with them. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that is such a different reality to what most people have. Because I'm like, no, they were awesome. Go do it with them. They were a lot of fun. So yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Simon. Next, we've got Chris, also in the middle of the fucking night.
Hey.
Hey.
So I have a question. I'm not sure exactly what the question is, but I'm just gonna start talking about it, I guess. I have this situation coming up with the court hearing where basically the state of California is giving me some trouble about unemployment money from back in the pandemic days when I literally wasn't allowed to go to work and might be asking for money back. And on the one hand, I'm like, probably it's not going to be anything too serious, even if they ask for some money back, whatever, I'll just create more money. But it's also like this freak out of going up against the system where everything's like really black and white. And it's like, if I say like slightly the wrong thing.
Hey, stop.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Chris.
Yeah.
What if that was the point of view you needed to challenge for yourself?
What do you mean?
Well, what if the system wasn't all that black and white? The system actually is a whole lot of gray. No one knows what the fuck is going on. They are understaffed and disorganized.
Yeah.
My biggest like objection to conspiracy theories is I don't think any government is organized enough to handle the things that people suggest that they're capable of handling. Have you ever had to talk to 2 government departments?
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's impossible. They don't even communicate.
Yeah.
Let alone this like massive, anyway, my interesting point of view. So with your situation, the fear is not real.
Yeah.
You can handle anything. get clear on the outcome that you would like, and know, my friend, that you can create this outcome that you would like.
Yeah.
You are not a victim of any circumstance. You are a fucking potent creator. So know what you would like and ask for that,
Yeah.
and ask it all to be ease. And when you get to the courtroom, pull energy from them
Yeah.
and turn on their bodies with sexual energy.
Really. Well, it's over the phone, but I can still do that anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just start pulling energy from the farthest reach of the universe through them and through their body to you and through your body, and then flick on their 5 points, which are the 5 points. I'm sure you know, they're just on the outsides of the armpits, like where the lymph nodes are, the sternum, and then on either side of their genitals, on their inner thighs.
Yeah. Just ask for it to turn on.
And pull energy through those 5 points. And then put in their heads what they need to hear.
Okay.
Just ask for the awareness of whatever they need to hear to make this go away with ease.
Well, okay. Part of like the discomfort or whatever around it is just sort of like the insanity of this reality, where what makes sense to me might absolutely not make sense to somebody who has like all these insane points of view about the legal system. Or
Yeah, I know.
it's like,
For most of us, things like borders and laws make no fucking sense. They're like, what?
yeah,
Also,
exactly. It doesn't make sense to me.
the other thing you might ask for, Chris, is for someone to show up who's been there and done that and can show you how to handle this.
Yeah.
Because there'll be other people that have been through this and found the loophole. Because in a lot of these situations, there is a lot of gray area. And if you hit the right point, they go, oh, well, we can't argue with that. Let's just let it go. Like all the people that are trying your case, they have no personal vendetta against you and nothing to gain from you having to repay this money.
Yeah.
You just need to hit the point of logic that they require to hear to let it go.
Yeah.
We recently, in our store, we were hit with an audit for everything we've imported for the last 4 years. And they sent me this huge list of things that the Antique Guild imported since 2019. And some of it was like single items, and some of it was entire 40-foot shipping containers with hundreds and hundreds of items. And I said, you guys want receipts on all of this to prove what it costs? And they were like, yeah. And I said, you do get that's thousands and thousands of pages worth of documents. And they went, yeah. So I just started shoveling documents at them basically through the email until they just went, okay, never mind. Too hard. Because the customs official in charge of the audit, he was like, this would be 3 years of work siphoning through all this, and we've got a backlog of cases. Too hard, let it go.
Yeah.
I give that example because in your situation, it's the same. You're not the only one in this position where they're like, oh, maybe we gave too much stimulus money out. What do we have to do here? If you can make the case that they need to hear to let it go, they will.
Yeah. It's like the gaslighting thing we were talking about earlier, where it's like I like so have decided that I'm wrong, even if I actually wasn't.
Because you're a humanoid.
Yeah.
You've decided the system must be correct and you must be wrong somewhere. And that if they've come at you with this audit or whatever you want to call it, they must be correct. You must owe them money. Because for anyone to give you anything, you have the point of view that it'll at some point be taken away. And you never really deserved it. Everything that is times a godzillion, and everything we've all done to gaslight ourselves to believe we don't deserve anything that we get. Can we destroy and uncreate all that?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds.
Well, also, I think part of what it is that I'm getting at is like, I guess my point of view is like the government is so big and powerful. If they really want to abuse me, whether it was correct or not, it could.
Okay, so everything
So
you've
what am
done,
I?
everything you've done to buy that point of view and make it true for you, can we destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. I mean, at the end of the day, even if they did try to come down on you and take the money back they gave you, it's not millions of dollars. It's not going to break you.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Yeah.
But they can only do this. They can only break you if you let them.
Yeah.
No one and nothing is more powerful than you, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well,
you're capable of this and more.
Yeah. Well, I guess that is like, it's almost like, I want to say a fantasy, even though it's like a negative fantasy where it's like the government is like this big powerful entity, but it's like it is made up by all the individual people and components that are disorganized and stuff. So
They're disorganized and have no idea what's going on.
yeah.
So all the presumptive realities we have about governments and all the paranoia that we've bought into about governments watching us, can we destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. We've got some people here from China, so I'm going to talk about China.
Yeah.
China as a government has not the best human rights track record. And a lot of people in China get watched for what they do and what they say and what their interests are and any criticism they have of the government. China is really good at making it seem like they have their shit together, they're organized, and they're coming for you. It's an image and a front. Do you know what? In China, here's an interesting fact, and I'm sorry, Jackie, if this makes you uncomfortable, but everyone thinks China's biggest expenditure is military. That's partially true. But their biggest expenditure actually is controlling civil unrest. Because so many of their people are actually struggling to create change. They don't have their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone assumes that they do, and they assume that the government has more power than everybody else. Not so.
Yeah.
And when things in China get really bad, they'll make some noise over here to distract everybody. And they'll do it around a cause that will create unity in the people. Like, let's start vilifying an enemy that everyone can agree on is the enemy. See what I'm saying? America is no different.
Yeah.
What if you were more potent and more aware than the US government?
Yeah.
Everything doesn't allow you to actually believe that and know it's true. Can we destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds.
I'm like, like also maybe I'm projecting. I'm like, if I wanted to create like a controlling government, like mine would work. I would actually do it, right? So like theirs must work too.
So how many lifetimes have you been a dictator and a tyrant?
Yeah, more than once, I guess.
Everything that is, and all the lifetimes that we all did despicable evil shit to our people just to have control. So we assume that's what every government will do. Can we destroy and uncreate all that?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds.
Mhm. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's like,
And I'll give you one more little story because I think it'll help you
yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
I lived in Asia for like 7 years. And in that time, my driver's license lapsed. So I went back to, and I'm a really bad driver. Like I'm horrific. Like most people get in the car and they're terrified. I went back to Canada and I was like, oh, I need to get a new license. And they said, hey, you have to do all your tests again. The written test, the driving test, you have to start from scratch because your license is so far expired. And I was like, motherfucker. I went in and took the test, the written test, which like a monkey can pass. I failed. And they were like, come back tomorrow and do the test again. And I was like, okay. I went back the next day and I said, universe, what would it take for this to be easy? And I went to the desk and the woman looked at my file and she said, I think I can just renew your license. And I went, okay, let's do that. And she just renewed my license. No tests.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ask for everything to be easy, or ease if you want to get correct access.
Yeah.
So with your court thing, everything that doesn't allow it to be ease, joy, and glory, let's just destroy and uncreate all of that.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. And all the conclusions you've already come to about how it's going to turn out, destroy and uncreate all those. Right and wrong,
Yeah.
good, bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. What if it ended up they owed you money?
That would be cool. Yeah. I guess the other point of view that I have here, it's like it's not even just this situation, it's something I keep coming up against in different ways where it's like this point of view where I'm like something might destroy me totally. Like what if like they could send me to prison or something? It's like if it's not this, it's some other story. What's that?
You'd go to prison and meet a nice man and have a lot of anal sex, and so what?
But it's really stupid because I like go to like these things in my head where I'm like, what if this thing destroys my entire life without actually just being present and choosing?
Yeah. And will that ever occur? The
I'm
only
like
person,
99% sure no.
the only person with enough power and potency to destroy your life is you.
Yeah.
No government, no anything else has that capacity.
Yeah.
And it will only occur if you actually desire it.
Mhm. Um, I'm not 100% sure that I don't have self-destructive desires though. So
Well, if you choose it, you chose it. If you do have self-destructive desires and choose it, then it will facilitate different awareness.
yeah.
No matter what the outcome, it will be exactly as you desire.
Yeah. Well, any of the big five, it's like a self-destructive desire, isn't it?
Yep. Mostly, it's all to lead you to prove how wrong you are.
Hmm.
Which is why we've chosen all of our relationships and all of the things in our lives that haven't worked out, is to prove how impotent we are.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I can keep clearing stuff as it comes up, I guess then.
Yeah, and just keep
Yeah.
getting out there and living your life. Like, what if situations
Yeah.
like this were a gift because they facilitate awareness? They teach you something.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to teach you that you are actually pretty magical and can make all of this just go away.
Yeah.
You might be way cooler than you realize, but it's probably better that you listen to the 1% that tells you that you're not.
Honestly, I guess I'm a little bit excited about this situation. It's just an interesting thing to choose with.
Yeah. How much fun can you have with it?
Yeah.
And turn on their bodies.
Yeah. Why are you saying that you're the second person who does Access who told me something like that when I asked about this?
Because if you turn on their bodies, they will like you.
Oh, okay.
They'll be like, I don't know why, but this guy, yeah, it's great. I like him. Yeah, whatever.
So what if I turn on everybody's bodies in all situations then?
Then everyone will
Why
like
not?
you. And
Cool.
everything will just get a whole lot easier. Turn everyone on.
Was really cool. What did you say?
Turn everyone on all the time.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then only choose the ones that you want to fuck.
Yeah.
And the others just say, gosh, thank you, but I've got diarrhea.
Okay.
Everything that brings up times a godzillion. Destroy and uncreate it all.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds.
Cool.
Cool. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
So next we have Hope and then Pinu. And then I got to make my supper.
Hey, okay, this turning on the 5 points thing.
Mhm.
I have always done it very timidly. Like as you were explaining this, like I like half-ass it, and I realized that I have the point of view that people will reject me if I turn on their 5 points.
But that's the same presumptive reality we got to earlier.
Earlier? Okay.
Everyone's going to reject you. You presume and assume that everyone's going to reject you and they don't actually like you and they don't want you to be around.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing.
Wow.
And that was your mother's point of view.
About herself or about me? About her. Yeah.
It was about herself and she projected it at you and you decided it was your job to heal it in her and she was never willing to receive that.
You want to know what, Chris? You're the second person I'm telling this to. She called me this morning and she has cancer. She has melanoma. And I was like, it was so interesting because on the call, it was like so. I've been aware, like anyway, like I've been aware that she would probably rather not be here for a really long time. And it was one of those moments I was so grateful for access because none of the reactive realities that I was supposed to have, I was like, wow. But it's just really cool that this is what's coming up today. Cause I was like, well, what do I have to look at? Like, if this is what she's choosing, like, what else do I need to look at for me with like where I'm still looped into her reality too?
Stop trying.
Stop trying. What'd you say?
Stop trying to heal her.
Yeah.
What a kindness it would be to let her go if that's what she wants.
Yeah. Wow. Damn it. I had one other question I really wanted to ask, but I think I kind of just need to let this simmer for a second before I try to say any more words. Can I lower my hand and then raise it again?
Sure. Simon wants to jump in quick. I'm sorry, Pin you. Simon, can we make yours quick and then we'll go to Pin
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Yeah, with the whole thing with oh my God. With the whole thing with rejection, I've been looking at this like really dynamically for like 6 to 12 months. And I've been doing this thing of like, fuck, it's hard to talk now. Of what am I rejecting in myself when I notice that like I have like a reaction in myself where I'm like an anxiety or a panic when I feel like someone's rejecting me. And you just went to that thing of like you were trying to heal your mum. Jesus Christ. I'm not sure what I'm asking. Sorry.
Well, how anxious was your mother?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what age did you make it your job to heal the anxiety in your mother that she never wanted to let go of so you could always be wrong?
Jesus. I couldn't even really understand what you just said.
I know everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all and all the big five attached?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Look, your mother was anxious. Your mother felt like a reject and undesired, and you sensed that, thought it was yours, thought you were wrong, and at the same time decided it was your job to fix and heal it for her. But she was not willing to receive that, was not willing to change it. So you were always wrong and were stuck with it your entire life.
Jesus.
Everything that is times a godzillion. Can we destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all night, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds.
Mike Tyson just hit it again. I'm gonna just go mute. I've got nothing.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Pin you.
嗨，
Hi.
我想问一个问题是，我已经咳嗽了3个多月，咳到吐的那种强度，然后我去检查了好几个医院都是正常的。我想问说要怎么提问才会变好？因为我发现自己身体不适的时候，会被感觉主导我的提问。那我要怎么跳脱这个情况？
Okay. Yeah, I have a question regarding my body. Actually, I cough a lot. It's so serious, I even went to the hospital, but nothing changed. Now, when I'm coughing, I feel like puke. So, what questions can I ask? Because when I'm in this situation, I cannot ask any questions. I don't have any awareness for that.
Okay, cool. So are you coughing for you, someone else, or something else?
你是在为你自己咳嗽，为其他人，还是些其他的什么在咳嗽？
为了其他的，
something else.
Yeah. So is it the earth or
是
something
地
else?
球吗？还是什么其他的东西？
好像很多，我分不出来。
More than that, I cannot tell.
Okay, so truth. What are you coughing for?
真相，你是出于什么原因而咳嗽？
好像有什么东西要出来，然后我一直在压抑它。
It seems that something, I just trying to surprise.
Yeah. So why would you rather not know what this is?
那你为什么不愿意知道这个是什么？
我好像没办法面对这个创伤。
It seems that I cannot face with this trauma.
That's an interesting point of view.
那是一个有趣的观点。
Is it your trauma?
那是你的创伤吗
不是欸，
？No, it's not mine.
So are you trying to heal all the trauma and abuse that has been done to the planet?
哇，你在试图疗愈整个在地球上的创伤吗？
好像觉得只要别人不舒服，我就应该要去帮助他。
Every time when I sense somebody else is not comfortable, I feel like healing them.
Yep. But are you trying to heal people who can't receive it?
但你在试图疗愈那些不愿意接收的人。
哦，
Are you more aware of their bodies than they are?
你是否比他们更能够去觉察到他们的身体呢？
How?
我很容易感受到别人的感知，然后就把
It's
它复制到我身上来。
Okay, it's so easy for me to sense other people's body, and I just copying those symptoms to my body.
Yeah, you're a healer.
是啊，因为你是一个疗愈者。
哦，no，那我现在不想再做这件事了。
Now I don't want to do it again.
Well, unfortunately, that's not an option.
那很不幸的，那不是一个选择。
You have a capacity to heal.
你有一个疗愈的能力，
You can try and turn that off, but you're going to do more damage than good.
那你可以试图把它关闭，但是这样做的话呢，就是弊会大于利。
What if instead you ask for the awareness to only heal those who are willing to receive it?
如果你现在开始只是请求你去疗愈那些能够愿意去愿意去接收的人，那会是怎样？
我觉得现在空间有比较轻了。
然后 the space getting higher.
Yeah. You're trying to heal everybody, but a lot of people don't want it.
是的，因为你在试图疗愈所有人，但是很多人不想要被疗愈。
Ask, just like we said about sexual partners.
那就像我们前面讲到的那个性伴侣那样去提问。
Ask for the awareness of the ones that will be fun for you.
那请求那个对你来说是充满乐趣的那一个的觉察。
It's the same thing with healing. Ask for the ones that will actually receive it.
那么关于疗愈也是一样的，就请求那些愿意接收的人，
And desire change.
并且渴望改变的人。
我想问你，刚刚说这不是一个选择，是什么意思？
I would like to ask you, what do you mean by this is not an option?
Well, get the energy of what it'll create for your body if you try to turn off your healing capacity.
那你感知一下，如果你关闭你疗愈的那个能力的那个能量，
Does that create more possibility or less?
那会创造更多的可能性，还是更少的可能性呢？
我觉得我自己有一点呼吸困难。
Now I just sense like I have a difficulty to breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
就是这样。
Because for you, healing is as natural as breathing.
那因为对你来说，疗愈就像呼吸一样自然。
因为这个对我来讲蛮困扰的。我其
But this
实很想要是有能力可以控制它，而不是被带着跑。
this bothers me a lot. Now I really want the ability, I can control it, but not, affected by it.
Well, that's why I said ask for the awareness.
这是为什么？OK，呀，这是为什么我说你请求要这个觉察，
You don't have to do it for everybody.
你不需要为所有人去这样做。
And it's so much more fun to do it for people who actually receive it.
然后你只是为那些愿意接收的人这样做，你会充满更多的乐趣。
It's like, have you ever had sex with somebody and they really received what you were doing for them in their body?
那你是否有跟那些就是他们真的愿意去接收的人，并且他们身体愿意去接收的人，就是有过性爱？
It was a gift to both of you.
那是对你们二者的一个礼物。
嗯，因为我几乎都是在做这些事情的时候，是自己会生病，或者是自己会不舒服，或者是情绪不好。
I always get sick and always, feel so emotional and I don't feel well, when I do these things.
Do you know why?
这也就是我接触VC 的原因。
That's why I came to Access.
Yeah. So you always get sick and you always feel everyone's emotions because you are intensely aware.
那因为你总是生病啊，或者是你感知到其他人情绪，是因为你如此的觉知，
You're trying to make your awareness a problem and turn it off.
所以你在试图把你的觉察当做是一个问题和关闭它。
嗯，
I'm trying to show you how to make this easier, honey.
亲爱的，我在试图向你展示如何让它轻松一点。
嗯，
But instead, just turn your awareness off. I promise it's going to be great.
但是我现在跟你承诺，如果你把你的这个觉察关闭，我跟你承诺，那会变得更好。
Every time your body gets sick, it's trying to teach you something.
你要知道，每一次你的身体生病的时候，都其实是向你要去教会你一些东西。
Not teach you because you don't have lessons to learn, but it's trying to show you something and give you information.
哦，不是教导，因为你没有任何东西需要学习的。其实它只是你的身体要向你给予一些信息。
So thank it for the information
所以要感谢你身体给予你的信息。
and ask, who am I doing this for?
那提问，我在为谁而做这个呢？
And are they willing to receive it?
然后对方他愿意接受这个吗？
我其实在这种过程里面都有一种强迫感，就是我好像是被强迫去疗愈别人，就
I
我好
feel
像
I
是一
was
个工具。
I feel so forced to do it to heal other people.
That's because you're not making a conscious choice from allowance.
那因为你没有是做一个有觉察的、有觉知的选择，是出于允许，
Because you'd rather not acknowledge how aware you are.
因为你不愿意承认你有多觉察，
You would rather think you're fucked up, you've got problems, and you are a victim here.
那你更愿意是认为你有问题，你搞砸了，然后你是个受害者。
Fact is, you have a magnificent talent.
但是坏消息就是你有如此多的潜能和力和力量，
But you'd rather focus on a problem.
但是你只想要聚焦在问题上面。
嗯，
Silly bitch.
哦，你这个愚蠢的婊子。Can I say something here?
Yeah.
See, for the whole, the question process, she did not cough at all. 那我想说，你看你整个提问的过程中，你根本没有咳嗽，哎，
我咳嗽不是一直持续，就是一天可能只有1次2次，但是会咳到我就是没办法呼吸，一直吐。
Okay, so it did not happen all the time, just once a day. But when I just cough, constantly I cannot I cannot breathe. I feel like puke.
That's your body trying to give you awareness.
那是你的身体在试图给予你觉察，
And you're not listening.
而你没有聆听，
You're stubborn.
你太固执了。
就是在这几个月里面，我在不舒服的时候，我是会一直提问的。可是我发现我收不到任何讯息。
Okay, I keep ask questions for several months, but I did not get any information.
Keep asking.
那持续提问，
And have a look at the questions that you're asking.
并且你去面对你做的提问。
Ask what this is, what do you do with it, and how do you change it?
那这个是什么？我是为了谁而做这个？我如何改变它？
Promise you, my dear, the more you're willing to acknowledge that this is your awareness, the easier your life will be.
那我跟你承诺，我跟你保证，那你越是愿意去承认你是有多觉察，你的人生会变得更加的轻松。
Who or what are you trying to heal that would rather not have it?
那你在试图那些谁或是什么啊，他们不愿意去接收的人，
They might be willing to receive more of it if you didn't think it was yours.
那如果你不认为这个是你的，他们也许可能反而会愿意去接受。
哦，谢谢。
Thank you.
Hope.
With the 5 points, you just ask them to turn on. Do we have to pull through them or anything? Or is it just
当你先拉别人5点的时候，我们只是说去拉动，还是说请求对方的5点
Hey,
启动
Jackie,
呢？
can you mute yourself?
哦，
You're all right. I like listening to the Mandarin, but
it's really beautiful?
so with the 5 points, I find it helpful to turn them on and pull energy through them.
Okay. I'm going to play with this on set all day tomorrow. I'm very excited. I will let you know how it goes.
Notice as well when you play with it on set, notice the ones who are willing to receive it and it's easy, and those who have the most resistance.
Oh, I wonder how much that's also what I've been picking up on, where I'm half-assing it too. That's really cool.
You're not half
That's
assing
awesome.
because some people are willing to receive more than others.
That's fucking awesome.
Some people
Cool. That's so cool. Okay, and then the creation conversation we were having at the very beginning, when you were talking about looking at what you're enthusiastic to create money for.
Yeah.
I have this coat literally hanging on my door right now that I haven't cut the tags off of because I'm like, I put it on a credit card and I'm like, I don't have, like, it's been this funny thing. And at the same time, as I was staring at it while you were asking those questions, and I was like, wow, there's so much that I love with like clothes and like creating space and stuff like that. And I realized that I was like, but I can't say this because that implant of like, it's just for me. Is there something new that we can look at now with like what's breaking apart with the big 5 around?
Your clothes aren't just for you. What you
Can you
wear
see-
What you wear out into the world has very little to do with you. You're not the one looking at it. Yeah, it feels a certain way on your body, but it's the joy it gives others as they see you walk through their life that is the real impact of it. Dressing beautifully is a kindness to the world. I love going to the airport in North America because everyone wears bloody pajamas to get on the plane. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? I don't mind because the men tend to wear track pants and you can see their cock, which is fabulous. But
Yep.
but I'm like, God, I remember a time, and I'm not old, but I remember a time when people used to get dressed up to go fly somewhere. Now they turn up in pajamas. It's a kindness to everyone to dress well. It's a kindness to your guests to decorate your house beautifully so that when they come over, they are honored to be invited into your space. It is not just for you. And even if it was just for you, it resonates out into the universe. Okay, you guys may have heard me use this analogy before, but to me, we are all like Wi-Fi signals. We have our bodies, but our being resonates out into the universe. Like Chris said earlier, his hearing thing is on the phone, but he can still pull their energy and pull sexualness through their bodies. Anything you choose that creates joy for you contributes, it resonates out like that Wi-Fi signal to everybody. You having an orgasm through masturbation is a gift to all of creation. That energy of orgasm. You choosing to stay in at home one night, have a glass of wine, light a candle, and read a great book because it brings you joy is not necessarily a solitary experience. It is a sense of peace that actually creates a resonance that reverberates out bigger than you. If you allow it. Most people, when they masturbate, they separate from the world around them to keep it private, rather than allowing that energy to spread out and including the world in their experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just acknowledge through that too, like how much I enjoy like something that like really like I'm enthusiastic about is like creating beauty, like with the clothes, with space, with like inviting people to beauty. Like it's like and dressing. Yeah. Oh wow. Thank you so much, Chris. And that what you just said is wow.
Yeah. See, it helps too with certain purchases that you might have decided are superficial. Frivolous and superfluous, unnecessary.
I would never. Yeah.
Sometimes they are. I remember once going shopping with a friend and she spent $13,000 that day on skincare and clothes and this and that and the other. And I had no idea, but she was in serious fucking debt. But she was still spending like a fiend. And we've all done it. But she took the things home and she walked into her spare bedroom and set them on the bed. And in the spare bedroom, I saw probably 20 similar shopping bags of stuff that she went and bought and never even opened or played with or enjoyed. There was a destructive tendency for her to use money in that way. You got to get, is that what I'm choosing here? Am I doing retail therapy for the dopamine I get of swiping my credit card? Or am I actually creating a different future with this purchase? When we were in Rome last month, I spent a serious amount of money on clothes. And I was looking at it and going, what am I doing this for? And I realized it was for me and my body. And I was creating a different possibility for the people I was buying them from. There was actually a symbiosis of gifting and receiving. And the one brand that I was buying from, they said, hey, you're definitely not our biggest client, but we want to invite you to our runway show in Milan next year because you're the future client we want. And I went, huh, that's so cool. Because I love fashion and I love clothes, and being able to go to a runway show in Milan and invited, I was like, fuck, that's awesome. This is the kind of life and future I would like to have.
That is so fucking cool, Chris. You just showed me such a different possibility. Because this one coat, for example, like I like can't stop thinking about wearing it, like putting it with different outfits and like how amazing, like all this stuff, and I still haven't like taken it off my door and cut the tag off because but how much
you paid for it, but you haven't been really choosing it.
Yeah, and I'm like afraid that I'm doing retail therapy or that I'm not spending my money wisely or any of those things. Yeah. I'm so grateful, Chris. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. All right, my friends. I'm tired. I love you, but I gotta go.
Thank you, Chris. This has been amazing.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Chris.
Awesome. Thank you for wonderful questions. This is probably my favorite clarity night that we've done so far. And I love that I didn't, the freedom it gave me of not having to stick to a topic is actually really cool. So, yay, us.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Enjoy your Sunday.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.